Welcome back! In our third video of Introduction to IELTS Writing Task course, we will uncover how to manage your expectation of your writing score. I'm sure this part is quite exciting and that you will learn a lot from this video. So I'll begin by asking you, which part is most difficult in IELTS? Is it reading, listening, speaking, or writing? Well, if your answer is writing, then you're not the only one. Let me show you the findings from official IELTS database. In fact, writing score for Indonesian candidates is the lowest on average compared to other skills. And if you also compare the performance of IELTS test takers from other countries, we see similar pattern. Anyway, from this we can also know that the two productive skills, such as writing and speaking, are usually more challenging than receptive skills, which are simply testing the comprehension of messages giving in text and speeches, such as those in reading and listening tasks. Therefore, it's crucial for you to manage your expectation and preparation to avoid getting disappointing result. Do you think that you'd automatically get band 9 had you been born a native speaker? Or at least 8 if you have studied, worked as a permanent resident in an English speaking country for many years? Let me show you something surprising. Here is a report of an English proficiency test of my colleague from New Zealand. Yes, I know, it's not IELTS, but it's quite similar in test format and band scale. CALE, the name of the test, was developed in Canada, using IELTS as the external benchmark, so these two tests must have comparable level of validity, well, at least for the scoring system, which is between 0 to 9 in IELTS, whereas CALE's is between 0 to 90. As you notice from the name, it is clear that he is a native speaker who has been using English all his life, graduated from the best university in New Zealand. But his writing score is only 70, which is equivalent to IELTS 7. How could that be? Another case to highlight the difficulty of writing tests in time condition is this. It's still the KL test though, but with a different test taker. He's my colleague teaching English in China. Not only that, he's also an Australian who spent years studying and living there. So his case is even more interesting. As is shown here, he scored only 30 out of 90 for his writing. I found this beyond belief. Although he's not a native speaker, but I know that he speaks English fluently and articulately. Unfortunately, this shows something else at play when it comes to testing English skills. In general, your overall English performance is never the same, and that you need to watch out for external factors that can drag your performance down. To better illustrate it, imagine you are a swimming athlete. On good days, you have peak performance swimming 100 meters in just 1 minute or perhaps even under. Conversely, on bad days, you just can't replicate your personal best and you take more than a minute to reach the same distance. Going back to my two friends' results mentioned above, their suboptimal performance was more likely the result of unfamiliarity with the test, having no preparation before the test, and perhaps other factors like maybe not getting enough sleep the night before. Anecdotally, I got a student who had to hold his pee throughout the duration of the writing test, and you guessed it, he didn't get his best score. So you really need to be realistic with your goal and prepare strategically. Will, by the way, help you with both. Another takeaway point from these two cases is that specifically, your writing skill is probably the weakest compared to other skills. So if you've tried IELTS before and didn't get the writing score that you want, don't be too hard on yourself. This point is even verified by my other colleague who was an IELTS examiner. In my Elia Edu podcast, you can hear him noting that even native speakers often don't get band 9 for writing, particularly if there is no prior training involved. So, appropriate training is the answer, and you've come to the right place. Our staff at Elia Edu will help you with the right training so you can realize your dream of going abroad. If you haven't watched this podcast, I truly recommend you to watch it and get a good insider's tip on how to ace this test.